Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Teddy Atlas gives Canelo backhanded compliments on Twitter. So he made some of the critiques that many people are saying about Canelo's, trying to downplay Canelo's accomplishments and achievements. So we're going to look over some of what was said, and then we'll discuss it after. So here's some of Atlas's tweets. He says about Canelo: he's not the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, but Canelo is and has been a terrific fighter of his era. Salute. That's what he said. So again, why can't you just say he's one of the greatest fighters of his era without saying he's not the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, right? All right, so we're going to take a look at another Teddy Atlas gem here. So Teddy Atlas said, again, all credit to Canelo. Of course, the fanatic fans only see the win, and he's great. But if put in context, he was too big and strong for smaller Charlo. So that's what he wrote. We'll take a look at another magnificent tweet from the great Teddy Atlas. And again, he said, and he has all the power and the stage to acclaim himself the greatest. And if you have the guts to dare to disagree, you're a pariah. Hail Caesar. And it's like he's saying, hell, Julio Cesar Chavez is as the greatest. So he still, why does he have to bring up Chavez on when people are talking about a Canelo victory? And again, we'll just talk about, I'm just paraphrasing. So let's take a look at some of Canelo's accomplishments, since that's where Atlas is gone. So Canelo Alvarez, at the age of 33, has been the WBA, WBC, WBO, and Ring Magazine Super Welterweight Champion. He's been the WBA and two-time WBC and IBF and Ring Middleweight Champion 2 times. So these are all the titles he's accomplished. He's held. He's been undisputed at super middleweight, and he is currently undisputed at super middleweight. He's also been the WBO light heavyweight champion. These are all the titles that Canelo Alvarez has held in his career, and he's only 33 years old. All right, so now we're going to take a look at some of the fighters that Canelo has faced in his career. In the caliber of fighters. So at the age of 33, Canelo has fought Floyd Money Mayweather, in my opinion, the greatest boxer of all time. People can have their debates. Like I said, I'm not mad at people for their own opinions. He fought Triple G 3 times. He fought Sergey Kovalev, the Crusher. He fought Dmitry Bivol. Only 2 people on this list that beat Canelo are Floyd Mayweather and Dmitry Bivol. He fought Daniel Jacobs. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley. He fought Jamel Charlo. He fought Austin No Doubt Trout. He fought Caleb Plant. He fought Miguel Angel Cotto. He fought Arizona De Laura. He fought Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, Liam Smith, Amir Khan, John Ryder, Julio Cesar Chavez. So before you sit here, Junior, yeah, Cesar Chavez Jr. My bad. You're right. Like we see that definitely was definitely don't want to miss that. Yeah, Junior. So these guys were all high caliber fighters, whether people want to admit it or not. They were champions. They have great wins. So anyone sitting here trying to discredit Canelo, you have to look at the guys he's been in the ring with, the guys he's beat, and who they fought and who they beaten. So to sit around and act like Canelo is so cherry picker who doesn't have a stout resume. You're just not being real with yourself. I'm gonna turn over to you, Trill Dollar Bill. What's your reaction to Teddy Atlas backhanded comments and some of the things being said to discredit Canelo's victory and accomplishments?
I don't know, man. You know what it is, bro. And I've come to this conclusion that I have really changed over the years. I'm a different person. I have no malice and no hatred in my heart. You know, in order for me to grow and to have this transformation, right? I had to change, you know what I'm saying? So when I see things like this, they kind of, it irks me a little bit, right? Because it's like, who are you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you make people want to think about who you really are. Have you never accomplished anything on the level of a Canelo? And that's fine. I guess everybody has an opinions, right? You know what I'm saying? They're like buttholes, right? Everybody has one. But I just don't like it. I just don't like it, especially Teddy Atlas, who's done came out before. He's always come off like he's hating. Everything's a robbery and this, that, and the third. And they don't even take you serious no more. You the guy that was bragging about almost wanting to shoot a 15-year-old kid. I just can't. I feel a certain way with Teddy Atlas, man. Look, there's more than one greats. I think Julio Cesar Chavez is the man. Everybody knows that that's my guy, you know. But Canelo is also great too. There could be more than one great Mexican fighters. Shout out, rest in peace to Salvador Sanchez. You know, there could be other great Mexican fighters, not just one. You know, Barrera was dope. Morales was dope. You know, those are my guys. There's other great Mexican fighters. Fernando Vargas, I love Fernando Vargas.
Juan Manuel Marquez.
You know what I'm saying? Marquez, even his brother Rafael Marquez. I like, there's other great, good Mexican fighters. It's not just one. And it's just showing your hate. It's just showing who you are as a person. Everything you was doing was just trying to throw shade. Like, just appreciate what we're seeing right now. He paid his dues. He's fought the who's who of boxing. The Shane Mosleys to the Karma Citrons to the, you know what I'm saying? He's fought everybody. He's fought everybody. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. Just call me the Trill. I just don't get the hate. Like, what is there left to prove?
He has to beat Benavidez, Trill. He has to beat
Benavidez. And then after that, it's going to be AJ. You know what I'm saying? or Usyk. Or somebody else. It's never going to be done.
We identified he has bigorexia.
Shout out to the TV. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. Nothing's never going to be good enough. I'm just the type of person where I can just appreciate what I'm seeing, man. I've been through so much, man, in my life. I done seen so much, man. Like, it's good to see somebody out here accomplishing goals and doing something great. And I can appreciate that. I have no beef with Canelo and nothing that he's doing, man. If he wants to fight, he can fight whoever he wants to fight. He's paid the cost to be the boss. All the fake, if you don't like him, that's fine. You don't have to like him. I'm not here trying to push you to like the man. But you at least gotta have, what are y'all, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder? Y'all can't see what this guy is doing? Or you're just that much of a disgusting human being that you have to I just don't get it. They're making it seem like he ain't done nothing. At least I got to give it up to my brother G. At least G admits that Canelo has all these accomplishments. He did all these things. People are discrediting all these things like they don't even matter. Like he's always had the upper hand. Like he's always been like they talking about Charlo and like he's not 5'11" with the longer reach. He's not the taller guy. Before the fight started, I was like, damn, Charlo a little bigger. But they ain't the size of the dog. It's the heart. It's the heart of the dog. And bro said it, man. He takes their heart. He turned the lion into a pussycat. He was roaring, then he started meowing. When the fight was over, he started roaring again.
That was weird, yo. That was weird.
You know? These people were happy that they just didn't get knocked out. That's crazy, man. I just don't, y'all, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for this rant on giving Teddy Atlas too much of my good energy, man. But I just don't see it. I don't care if you don't like him. As a person, that's fine. But as an athlete, he's given us everything we wanted. And he still is. And I got something to say on the next topic. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. I don't understand the hate. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe it's just I'm getting sensitive in my old age. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand the hate.
I heard that happens though. The older you get, the more sensitive you get, because the more aware you get to certain things about life and everything.
Yeah. I don't know.
I still feel ice cold.
When we were younger, I was way more desensitized.
We had to be when we was younger. We was in the middle. Back then, yeah, that was a whole
different. To get you killed.
Yeah, that was a different lifestyle back then. IG, your reaction.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from another perspective, but I do agree with Trill on a lot of points. But how I look at Teddy Atlas's comments is, and I don't know how people are going to take this, but I take it as Teddy's just an old head, man. You know how old heads are? Like, they always have to compare today to back then. They just can't help themselves. It's like, you think that dude's great? Man, you know, this dude was the man. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They do that in every sport. They just can't help themselves. So I don't think he was really, like, hating on Canelo. But how he's looking at it is, Julio Cesar Chavez fought literally everybody. Like, you know, this dude had like over like 300 fights. I can't remember how many.
100. Yeah, over 100 fights.
It was something crazy. But like, so it's like in Teddy's mind, you can't surpass that, especially not in this era, because in this era, it's like on average, dudes fight like 2 times a year. Canelo probably fights like 4 times a year. So Teddy's just like, I ain't trying to hear none of that, man. Julio Cesar Chavez is number 1. I can respect that. You know, it's like, hey, that's his opinion, right? So I don't necessarily take Teddy's comments as hate per se, right? And then on Twitter, how Twitter is, Teddy could be responding to somebody else's comment. So I don't want to take it out of like context, right? Like, and let's just be real. And this is maybe where I part ways with Teddy, or I don't know how I feel about it really, but Teddy could make the argument that, hey, you know, Canelo is bigger, than Jamel, which is true, right? Now we could talk about the height, right? But let's just be real, it's not that much of an advantage. Canelo is literally campaigning in this comfortable weight class that he's been in for years, right? And we have Charlo, who just moved up 2 weight classes, coming out of a 2-year layoff, this and the third. But the only reason why I'm not using that as an excuse is because Charlo is, he's still considered undisputed. He was an undisputed champion, you know, at 154. So I'm like, even though he may have these minor setbacks, or maybe they're not too minor, but he's still a champion's champion. And a champion's champion is supposed to rise to the occasion. So I can't discredit Canelo for dominating Charlo, because this, in my mind, Charlo should have had a better performance. And I'm serious when I said this. Like, Plant did better than Charlo because at least Plant went for it. This dude Charlo just wanted to survive just so he could be like, yo, I went all 12 with Canelo. If you want to say that, hey, yeah, you're proud of that, then be proud of that. I don't know. But I can see like a guy like Teddy Atlas, who is pretty vocal about his critiques about every weight class, every division. He has something to say about all kind of fighters. I can see him looking at that like, you know, I'm just going to call it a cherry pick, right? And so I can see how he could do that. But I'm still going to give Canelo that credit because he's doing it to an undisputed champion. And it's kind of like, this is another thing I wanted to bring up. It's kind of reminds me of Canelo versus Bivol. Canelo versus Charlo is just like Canelo versus Bivol. It's always going to be a lose-lose situation for Canelo because people are going to automatically have excuses, right? With Bivol, it was, yo, who's this unknown dude, even though he's in the bigger weight class? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, oh, he's fairly unknown, so, you know, Canelo beating on this guy doesn't count, right? And then they always bring up Benavidez during that time. Now with Charlo, same thing. Like, he's a smaller weight class going up to see Canelo, but again, people like, yo, who's this guy? And at the end is, but what about Benavidez? You know what I'm saying? So to me, if Canelo, and he doesn't even have to do this, but I think, you know, and we're probably going to talk about it in our next segment, but I just think he needs to just fight Benavidez to just shut down everybody. Because even Teddy Atlas, I bet you.
Who?
Even Teddy Atlas.
Who?
You don't know who Teddy Atlas is?
No. Who we got to fight? I don't know who that is. Like, I'm being honest with you.
Okay, if you don't know, then I don't know what to tell you. But anytime, and Canelo,
he got to fight the dude that was in Creed, Ned.
Oh, the cocaine bag guy. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Anyways, pretty much what I'm saying is, you know, the Canelo haters or Canelo critics are always going to bring or compare him to Benavidez because that's the new narrative, right? And so, to me, if Canelo wants that respect from all his naysayers, yo, just call out Benavidez and make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that'll be his safest bet. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, what Teddy's saying, I'll give him a pass for now. You know what I'm saying? Because I could see his criticisms of this fight. You know what I mean? But I think he went a little too far. But seeing that performance, I mean, come on, man. Like, Charlo, man, it's whatever, yo. It's shameful.
All right, TVE.
I disagree with you 100%.
I bet you don't, but you just
Teddy Atlas is a hater. You could do your best performances, and he's gonna say something that he has a negative review. I just want for the fans. When Canelo fought Mayweather, Mayweather made him look like a child. He like, you're not good at this sport. He looked bad. And since then, Canelo took boxing serious. And this is the thing with these fighters. They don't take boxing serious. And if you're going to call out the best, you got to be your best. You can't just be like, oh, he's just a boxer. He's not a boxer. He lives. Trill, can you quote me what you be saying about Canelo? Live, eat, sleep, boxing. That's Canelo. He lived this. This is his life. This is his life. So when you're gonna speak on the man and say it wasn't a great, oh man, damn, why my man gotta do me like that? Like, I feel bad right now. But Canelo, he lives the sport. He does this. This is what he does, and this is what I love about fighters who take the sport seriously. I love AJ. Pause. I love AJ, but AJ lost his heart somewhere. I don't know who got his heart. After he lost to Ruiz, he never showed, like, he showed it sometimes.
Why you care about who has AJ's heart? I just want to know. Why you care about that?
Because he needs his heart. He needs his heart to, like, be a dog in the ring. He's not being a dog right now.
Sound like you need him. You know what I'm saying? You need that heart.
Watch him out. Watch him out. Pause. Again, pause. But yo, Canelo's a dog. Like every fight he's taken, like when he lost to Bivol, he didn't lose in embarrassing fashion. He just lost because he didn't outmatch him. But I feel you, I promise you, Bivol agrees to fight Canelo tomorrow. It's not gonna be in his best interest. And Canelo's like, he's like, he does what he does. Like how can I'm just trying to put in words, but he's a freaking beast. Pause. Why y'all doing this?
You can say beast, bro. You can say beast. There's no pause.
He's a monster. Pause. Like it's like you like I'm doing too much.
Yo, you okay, bro?
Right.
Yo, what's going on in your mind? Huh? What you're saying, but what's going on in your mind might be something completely different. Huh?
It's like
those ain't pause-worthy names, bro.
Like what?
Canelo's the GOAT. That's all I'm gonna say. Teddy Atlas, you've been a hater. You've always been a hater. You only you got a couple boxes in your name, but yo, if anybody called you out, you never stepped in the ring. What up?
You would think that Teddy would be more humble. Didn't he get like $150? He got like 400 something stitches in the street fight, right?
Y'all, come on, man. Let's just keep it clean. But
no, I'm saying you think he'd be more humble.
How about this, yo, Ned? Am I a hater if I say, yo, Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James?
If you say what?
I like Kobe Bryant.
If I say Kobe Bryant's better than LeBron James, or if I say Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James, am I a hater?
Nah, it's just your opinion.
You're not a hater, but you're
that's your
opinion. So now, if Teddy believes Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is the greatest Mexican of all time, does that make you a Canelo hater?
It's how you say it, though. It's how you go about it.
And how he said it proves he was a hater.
Like me, I'd be like, I think that Julio Cesar Chavez is number one, my number one guy, right? But you'll never see me discredit anything that Canelo does. I'm giving Canelo his full props, but everybody know Julio Cesar Chavez is my guy.
But based upon the tweets that we just read, where did he discredit Canelo?
Yo, I'll tell you where.
It's like when he's saying, like, with the guy saying, oh, he's this guy. Like, he's saying these things, and then he's backhanded him saying, like, the other guy's it is the smaller guy, this, that, and the third. And, you know, this other, like, he's not the greatest. He's the greatest. Like, you're still throwing shade. You know what I'm saying? It's all right to say that there's two greats. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's two greats. They're both great fighters. It's just how he's going about it. He's doing that slide talking. You know what I'm saying? You know how somebody be like, you know, yo, G, I like that shirt. You know what I'm saying? But it would be like, you know, if it was blue. It looked
better on me.
If it was blue. You know what I'm saying? that shirt would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? If you know how it is. It was just backhanded comments. Like somebody, I had a brother, right? He used to be like, he was like, I had got a Benz. You know what I'm saying? Right? He hated to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, I like this Benz. You know what I'm saying? He was like, why you get this color? You know what I'm saying? I would never get this color Benz. So, you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell him it's the funniest thing ever. Like, it was just, he would hate on every and anything about you. It would be crazy. He would hate on any and everything. So we're all just sitting there. So Trill had he had a Mercedes truck, a Mercedes SUV, and he had a BMW. And so we're all just sitting there chilling. Everyone's having a good time. And then he's just like, it wasn't the Benz, it was a BMW. He didn't like the color of the BMW, which was like a sky blue.
Yeah.
So he was like, why'd you get it in that color? And Trill's like, man, like, I like the color. It is what it is. We like kind of breasting it off. He's just going in on it. And so it was a Mercedes SUV and the BMW was a 3 Series. And so he was like, man, I'm just saying, like, why you should have got like at least a 5, 7 Series. Like, why'd you get a 3? And at that point, everyone was kind of fed up and Trill was kind of fed up. So Trill was like, yeah, but my 3's better than your 3. And he was like, I don't have a 3. And Trill was like, exactly. That was like kind of what it was funny, but yeah.
But that's what the hating be. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think Teddy Atlas be doing. And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference from what you were saying, G. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People hate for no reason. Like,
nah, but I want to point out how he was hating G. Because you said if you say Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James, are you hating? No, you're not hating. But if LeBron James just won the championship and your tweet is LeBron is a good player, he's not the greatest player of all time, but he is one of the best of his era, Kobe's better, you're a hater. Yeah. Why can't it be his moment? Yeah. Why can't it be his time? Why do you have to bring up the fact that there's someone greater than him who's ever played the game of basketball? Does it matter? Does it matter? Right? So that's where he's a hater. That's where it's like your intent was to hate. There's no doubt about it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You got that. You got that. Just posing a question, playing devil's advocate out here. You know what I'm saying?
TBE, you had the floor, right? So good.
Yeah, I did have the floor. Just to say, I don't want to brag, but I do drive a BMW. And one of my coworkers, one of my coworkers was like, "Yo, you too big to be in a go-kart." I'm like, "What you driving?" Nothing. I'm like, "Why you hating? Why you hating? Like, you're too big to be in a go-kart." I'm like, "Yo, stop hating." But there's some people just hate for no reason. And Teddy Atlas, you hate for no reason. You contributed a lot to the sport of boxing. We had this conversation before. You spoke on my man AJ. I ain't like it. You speaking on Canelo. Now you need to shut your mouth. Like, Canelo is the dog. Like, I'm not gonna get into this no more. I'm just saying.
So you dumped AJ already?
No, AJ. G.
My step. Let's get it.
It's funny how people talk about like whips and cars or whatever. I promise you, bro. Like, at one particular point, we had like 6 cars, and it was like BMW, Mercedes, SUV, Lincoln, all types of dope cars in a Mitsubishi Lancer, and we all used to drive the Lancer. We all used to just whip the Mitsubishi Lancer.
That's what's reliable out here.
Yo, it was Mitsubishi Lancer. That was the best car ever, hands down. The red jersey was the best car ever.
Yo,
you could be inconspicuous in that car. You could pull up, nobody's looking at whatever. We always be riding in a Mitsubishi Lancer. How all the fancy
flying. We used to go so fast in that. We thought that the car was flying.
Not thinking off topic. Like, yo, growing up, you see Mitsubishi everywhere. But what happened to Mitsubishi, yo?
They still make cars, man. You gotta understand that every car has its purpose. You know what I mean?
Every car
Mitsubishi is like an affordable vehicle.
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna get me a Mitsubishi, I forgot. I think it's like some type of SUV.
Outlander, right?
But when I got
the Outlander was
small, I was like, "This is SUV. This is bad tight." I was like, "Nah, I'm good." But it was so affordable, crazy. You know what I mean?
But yeah. So I'll just jump in where I gotta say, yo, he's a hater. He's a hater, certified hater. Facts. Already known that he's a hater.
G.
No, I'm talking about
me a hater. My bad. That just became to mind when I said it. My bad.
I'm talking about Teddy. I'm talking about Teddy Atlas, not G, man.
Oh, my bad.
G's not a hater. He just has selective bias.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take it.
He's not a hater though. You know what I'm saying? Well, man, G's not a hater though. All right. Nah, but for Teddy, he really is a hater. You got to look at the things he does. Like, even when it's what everyone else does, he still hates on certain people. But for example, I'm going to show you how he's a hater. We already discussed it. The timing of him bigging up Chavez and using Chavez to belittle Canelo. His tweet could have just been, Canelo is one of the best fighters of his era. Why did you have to say he's not the greatest Mexican fighter of all time? Why is that what's in your clause? You watch this. He doesn't have to be the greatest Mexican of all time. He's still a great, and he's still doing great things in his era. Chavez Sr. had his time. His time has passed. And Canelo gives Chavez Sr. all the credit and all the glory. He inspired him.
Yo,
So
and
why
vice
can't it
versa.
be that?
And vice versa.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to tell you why. People, if you ever seen the movie Us, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Us, but everybody has like their own interpretation of the movie. But my interpretation of the movie is how society uses us against us, right? Like we look the same, we are the same, we have the same features, the same background, the same everything, but we're used against each other. And this is a prime example of that. Teddy Atlas wants to take a shot at Canelo. But to take a shot at Canelo, he needs to get people on his side. So how does he get people on his side? He says, well, Canelo's not better than Chavez. So what's going to happen? People who want to defend Canelo are going to come out and say he is. And that's going to, in turn, give Teddy the support he needs for the Chavez fans who come out and say, oh, hell no, whatever. And now he has dogs in his fight. If he never invoked Chavez, if he never used Chavez to do his dirty work, he would have to try to discredit Canelo on his own, and he would be unsuccessful in doing that. It's the same thing they do with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. They turn the fan bases against each other so they have ways to discredit these guys. And we fall for it every time. Go ahead.
I'm just disagreeing with what you were saying, my brother. And Chavez doesn't fall for it. That's why he comes to every Canelo fight. He was kissing Canelo on the forehead and saying that the torch has been passed. And he said Canelo has did things that he has not been able to do. The great Chavez has said it himself. He has said that Canelo is that guy. And he comes out to support him in every fight. So I totally agree with you. What Teddy Atlas is doing is crazy.
And they do it with Floyd and any other fighter who looks like Floyd. If TC gets a great win over Earl Spence, now it's what would TC do with Floyd Mayweather? Can he surpass Floyd? Why? Doesn't matter. Andre Ward, why? Does it matter? Andre Ward was great in his own right, in his own way. At one particular point in time, Andre Ward was number one, pound for pound. Floyd was number one, pound for pound. Terrence Bud Crawford is currently number one, pound for pound. Maybe someday Shakur will be number one, pound for pound. Maybe someday Devin, maybe who knows? But are we to keep trying to make them discredit each other? Do you not think Floyd inspired these guys in some way? Do you not think that Chavez inspired Canelo? So again, what's the point in using Chavez to discredit Canelo? Don't bring Chavez into it. If you want to discredit Canelo's achievements, try to do it on a factual basis and you will fail. That's why you got to use Chavez. Period.
G's a hater. Throwing that out there.
Period.
For no reason.
So, and I'm saying,
Looking like a true hater.
I'm just saying, when they talk about Usyk and Klitschko, they don't put them against each other. They don't be like, yo, is Usyk the greatest Ukrainian fighter of all time? Is Usyk better than Vladimir Klitschko? I remember we did that once. We did a video like that once. People wasn't even trying to get into it. Just let them both be great. Just let Canelo be great. Let Chavez Sr. be great. They're both great. So move on to another thing with Teddy. This is what I notice on YouTube in general. Controversy gets clicks. Controversy and hate is what gets the clicks. If you're impartial or if you're logical and you're rational, people don't want to see that. They want to see slander. They want to see someone who's constantly disrespecting someone. They want to see. That's why reality TV is big. To make it on YouTube, you have to be a caricature. if you have like a terrible voice or whatever, and all you do is make drama and whatever, that's when people are gonna watch you. If you're positive, people don't really want to see that. If you're objective, people don't want to see that. So if you're Teddy and you diss Canelo, the Canelo fans are gonna come running to watch you. Ironically, instead of coming to watch people who spit the real on Canelo. There are more Canelo fans watching channels that try to discredit Canelo than watching the channels that actually show Canelo love. And that's the way it works in this YouTube and social media community. People look for the caricatures. They look for the people who spew hate. They look for the people who build their channels on the backs of disrespecting fighters and whatever. That's what's fun to them. If all we did every day was just say hot takes and come out here and just make videos, because we all got the jokes, you know that. If we used our jokes and our talent to just spew nonsense and get clicks and clickbait we would have way more views. But the thing is, we care about our integrity and who we are as people, so that's not what we do. But if you're Teddy, you don't mind being a clown. Teddy's been a clown. Let's talk about Teddy's clownish acts. For one, he pulled a gun out on a teenager.
Facts.
He's a boxing trainer who's supposed to have hands, but he pulled a gun out on a teenager. And don't give me, it wasn't a regular teenager. It was Mike. I don't care. It's still a teenager, bro.
15, yo. My baby's
I used
15.
to work. I
was just thinking Beebs is 15.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson was only 15, yo. I
A
can't just
little kid.
Yo, bro, and this is a fact. I used to work in the juvenile lockup facility. I used to have to restrain the kids. There was this one kid who was 6'4", 250. A powerhouse, but guess what? He was still a kid.
Child.
Still a kid. Still didn't have his grown man strength. Still didn't have a grown man mind. A kid.
2 + 2.
We didn't need to pull no gun out on him. We didn't need to pull no gun out on them kids to get them kids in line. To handle them kids. We didn't need to do that. But this man pulled a gun out on a kid. He's a clown. That's a clown move.
Goofy.
And the sad part is, and this is what makes him a clown. You can go on YouTube and tell me I'm lying. You can see numerous interviews of this dude telling the same story about how he pulled the gun out on Mike.
bragging about it.
And nobody ever calls him out and say, yo, that was weak, lame, and you's a clown. No one ever says anything about it. That's the first clown thing about this dude. The second clown thing about this dude, okay? Michael Moore's get in a fight. He's not performing to Teddy Atlas liking. Teddy Atlas pulls out a cell phone back in the days when the cell phones were freaking ginormous. And he's like, oh, your son is crying. Oh, he's crying. He's like, why is dad? Oh, your son's crying. Like, are you serious? What, that clown? And then I think about when he was fight when Timothy Bradley had him in his corner. What fireman? Who put out the fires? Who put out the fires? We
He think this is WWF. He's the pallbearer.
Yeah. You a clown, bro. That's why no one hires you as a trainer. That's why you speaking. You're supposed to be the boxing trainer. You were supposed to be this. So what happened? Why'd you fizzle out? Did you retire? Or did you get forced to retire? Because see, people look at you and they think you know a little something because you were under Cuss D'Amato. Cuss, that was a hell of a trainer. So you got a little bit of knowledge from Cuss, but you ain't Cuss. You may cuss, but you ain't Cuss. You feel me? Like, come on, man. You act like you cuss. You act like you made Tyson. You ain't do nothing. Canelo's accomplishments surpass your best fighter you ever trained's accomplishments. And you never had hands. That's why you pulled a burnout on a 15 or teenager, however old Mike was at the time.
He was a kid.
You know what's funny? When we first started doing the show, people used to say to us, well, why don't y'all fight? Well, oh, you talking, do you fight? And I had to break it down. Do you ask Al Bernstein that? Do you ask why are you asking us? To really shine the light on them. What is it about us that make you think we have to be fighters in order to talk about boxing? That shut them up real quick. Y'all never asked Teddy that, though. How can you sit there and hate on Anthony Josh was overrated to Teddy Atlas? Canelo Alvarez is overrated to Teddy Atlas. So who's good? Only the fighters of yesteryear? What does he sound like? Get off my lawn, old guy. So who cares about Teddy Atlas? And this, and then I'm done. The reality is, with a guy like Teddy, you'll never get credit. If Canelo beats David Benavidez next, Teddy will be the first one saying he was a baby, he wasn't ready. Canelo took advantage of him. And the same way everyone says Floyd did to Canelo when Floyd beat Canelo. If you bring up the fact that Floyd beat Canelo, the first thing people are going to say is Canelo was a baby. He was young. He wasn't ready for the fight. And if Canelo beats Benavidez, that's what we're going to hear. We already know the excuses. The reality is he'll never get the credit like Floyd never got the credit. He'll never get the credit. But what's a fact is Canelo has transcended boxing. He's the face of boxing. And if you don't like that, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't change the fact that it is what it is.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check it out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. I can't believe we gave you this much energy, Teddy Atlas. But you asked for it.
Only one thing, bro. And if you're one of the people who write this in the comment section, have some respect for Teddy. If you write that in the comment section, you need to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, why are you telling us that? And why don't you tell Teddy that when he talks about Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez? And know who you are and what you are.
Boxing Bros.
I feel it in my soul. Can you feel me? Came so cold in my cell, all them lonely nights. Stay 10 toes.